What up, what up, what up, my dudes? We got a review today, and it's a pretty interesting one. This is the TwoSun TS196. This is a pretty cool, crazy looking knife. Let's get some specs out of the way to start it off. What do we got here? What do we got? We have an overall length of 7.5 inches. We have a blade length of 3.25. We have a closed length of 4 3/8, and we have a weight of 4.37 ounces. So let's look at this guy. First of all, look at the finish on that blade, man. That it's so cool, man. I've never seen a finish quite like that. It's a belt sander finish, but it's very reflective. At least I think it's a belt sanding finish. I don't see how somebody would achieve that without using a belt sander. It's got to be. But it's kind of cool because you can see this bevel here, the lines are going one way, and then on the flat, let's see if I can get the sun right. On the flat, it's going a little bit of a different way, and then on the tanto bevel here, it's going a third way, and then on the swedge up here, it's going yet another way, fourth way. So it kind of just creates like this cool, almost like prism kind of effect, and man, it looks really cool. I really like this blade. So we got a full titanium construction. We got big, beefy slabs of titanium here on either side. There is a little bit of milling inside, but it doesn't go too deep. So this thing is a little bit heavy. It's not extremely heavy, but 4.37 ounces. We have a thick titanium backspacer. You can kind of see it thickens out here towards the back, which I think adds to the comfortability of this knife. I've said comfortability in a couple of videos, and I'm still not really sure if that's a word, but we're gonna use it as a word. We have a tanto blade, but with almost a trailing point, kind of Persian type blade at the same time. Really interesting. It is flat ground here and flat ground here, so there's no hollow grinds, but it does feel like it gets pretty thin at the edge down here, and then a little bit beefier here at the tip. You can see the blade stock. This is the full thickness of the blade stock probably right here. It gets really, really beefy right here, so you have a nice strong tip. I really like this line. I love the lines of this knife. You can see it kind of, the slope of the scale follows this, and then this little thumb ramp. It's a swooping line here. So this is the peak, and then it swoops back down. It just all flows really nicely. Ergonomically, it's pretty dang comfortable. I kind of wish this forward choil area was a little bit larger, but you can absolutely get a finger in there, and it feels good. I don't have any hot spots. Nothing's poking me. I like this clip. This is a really, really cool clip. There's a lot of really cool milling going on here. You can see these chamfered areas are kind of, they're milled. I'm not sure exactly what to call that type of milling, but just a bunch of small lines milled in there. And same on the other side, and on the pocket clip. This thing's got a big old pivot, or it might be just a pivot and then a collar around it, which is probably the case. When I first saw this knife, I thought it might have a special tool to take it apart, some proprietary hardware, because there's these little slots around the pivot there, and I thought maybe there was a tool for that, but actually you flip it over and there is a spot for a Torx bit right in there. Let's see what size that is really quick. Maybe it's a T8. Let's see. Yep, T8 pivot. And we have T8 body screws, and the screw for the pivot, the pocket clip is actually on the inside. So that's really cool. You don't see anything from the outside. And it's actually sitting in a little milled out slot in there. So there's only one screw, but it still can't move because it's down in that slot. Pretty cool. I always love to see a hidden screw on a pocket clip. We got only one means of deployment, the flipper tab. Pretty decent action. Not the snappiest detent I've ever felt, but you know, give it a couple shakes and it falls right down. Now, speaking of deployment, my main gripe with this knife, and it's a pretty big one, is this flipper tab is very sharp, and just the way that it's shaped, it hurts my finger every time I flip this thing. I mean, it's not just kind of annoying, like it actually hurts. This is not my knife. Somebody is letting me borrow this, but if it was, I would probably try to sand down this area a little bit, just try to get it a little bit smoother, because man, I carried this thing for a couple days and I just didn't want to open it because it hurt me. And that's not a good thing on a knife. You know, that's not a good quality on a knife. So that's kind of disappointing because I really want to like this knife. It looks so freaking cool, man. I really love the design. But that flipper tab is just sharp. Again, if you own one of these and you feel like you could probably sand that down or round it off, you know, it might fix it. So if you feel like doing that, don't let this discourage you from buying the knife. But you know, if you don't have the means to do that, or you don't want to put in the work, you know, that's a big turnoff for the knife. And I have really tough fingers. I'm a welder. I have lots of calluses, so it's not that. It's just it hurts. But you know, aside from that, I really do. I mean, like I said, I love the design. We got our milled out lock bar relief there. Let's see how it goes in and out of the pocket. I'm wondering if I didn't notice it while I was carrying it that this hung up at all. But let's double check. Let's get our Carhartts out. If it goes in and out of the Carhartts just fine, then it'll go out of any pants just fine. Yeah, you do get hung up a little bit. You can see right there, it just it gets caught on this this ridge here. But I mean, like I said, I carried it for a few days and I didn't really notice it too much. You know, a couple times you'll have to reach your other hand down and kind of like get it in, but not a huge deal. It is pretty deep carry. You do have a little bit sticking out there. You got about 3/8 of an inch sticking out, so not too bad. But this is you know, it's definitely an adequate space between the scale and the point here for it to easily slide in and out. Yeah, man. We're looking at M390 steel. Man, it's just disappointing because this is such a cool freaking knife, man. It's a really cool knife, and it's really too bad that it hurts my finger so much. Let's see, what do we got inside here? Yeah, okay, we have... That's pretty cool. So you can see that the stop pins are actually, there's 2 pegs on either side of the blade, and you can see that they move with the blade. And then I haven't taken it apart, but I'm assuming they're on kind of a semicircle track inside here. So, you know, they bottom out on this side, and then in the open position they bottom out. So that's pretty cool. I like to see that. That kind of it helps with blade stability, strength, and you know, helps you not wear out your stop pin as quickly since there's 2 of them. Yeah, I mean, it's a really comfortable knife to hold. It's a badass design, but yeah, I honestly really can't recommend it because it hurts my finger. Let's do some size comparisons. How about that? Let's get out the old PM2. There you go. How about the Demco 8020.5? There you go. How about the Rat Model 1? And how about the Civivi Altus? There you go. And let's do a little guy. How about the Civivi McKenna? And how about the CJRB Ria? Some little guys. Cool. There you go. This is it's a pretty short review. There's not a whole lot to say about the knife. Like I said, love the design, comfortable in the hand, good pocket clip, solid lockup. Everything's great. It's just that this dang flipper tab. So, thanks for watching, and subscribe if you're not. Like the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Adios.